Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Kicking Out at 2, where every week feels like a free promo Monday. Appreciate it, Michael Cole. We couldn't do it without you.
There.
As always, my name is Michael. With me is my best friend, Tori. Tori, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. You seem to be in better spirits than you were on
I'm
Tuesday.
I'm I'm a little better than I was Tuesday.
Had to see that's doing a little better for you. Um, all right. Well, let's go ahead and kick it off with some news. Um, some news that I'm excited about. Crazy Steve showed up in AEW.
I saw that.
That's
It
absolutely
was a
insane.
it was a dark match, wasn't it?
Yeah, he wrestled Serpentico. So first of all, good job for trying to keep that guy down. We're behind you
Right.
100%, Nyla. We're here with you.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, they need to go ahead and like get rid of that guy and get Cruz in there. He's a lot better,
Much better talent.
much better. But yeah, he was in a dark match at the Nashville AEW tapings, so it was good to see him there. According to Sean Ross Sapp himself, Steve and TNA parted ways amicably about a year ago. So he is safe to work wherever he wants to work. Hopefully, this means he gets a good contract. Because I mean, first of all, crazy dude, no pun intended, as far as how talented he is, because he is legally blind and a pro wrestler.
I'm sorry. What?
He is legally blind.
I was completely unaware of that.
Yeah. There was a story TNA did about him. It was about a year and a half ago, talking about him, and like he said, yeah, like he can barely see anything. And
That's
so he's in there
crazy.
wrestling basically as a blind man. And that's amazing that he's done as well as he is. Um, so hopefully this means that he gets to work with AEW a little bit. He's a great talent. I've heard he's also great behind the scenes. So
Okay.
be good to have someone back there. um, for people coming in, here's for people going out. The latest on Ricky Starks. He made the headlines again. Fightful previously reported that Starks requested AEW not to pick up his contract option in late 2023, but the company chose to exercise the option and has not utilized him at all. He did ask for his release. That has not been
And they've
accepted.
said no.
It's important to note that Starks has not rejected creative opportunities, according to Ricky Starks. Now, obviously, we're not in the room. We don't know what the actual conversations are,
Right.
but according to him, he has not
No
turned
one
down
else was in the
anything.
room when it happened.
Yeah, it's just they haven't been offering him anything. So it seems to be they are perfectly fine letting him sit back in catering. And, the only time we saw him is we saw him show up at a GCW show, which then immediately got blocked after, which then caused into question because other people have been on GCW. Jericho showed up on GCW
Yeah.
after that.
And
And good.
I will say this. People bagged on Vince forever for doing this kind of thing. Now, first of all, it's Vince McMahon. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
But this is the same thing, and we should all keep the same energy. This is the same horse shit. I understand injury time is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. There's no reason for you to keep Phoenix on the no, let him go. You're not going to use him. You're literally doing this to fuck him over. You're doing the
Yeah.
same thing to Starks. If they asked for their release, let them go.
Yeah. There was a tweet that I saw earlier in the day, and now it was not substantiated by any other place of note. It was
Okay.
just kind of an account that said it. Um, they had an uncertified list of people that have asked for their release, which included Ricky Starks, Miro. Um, it had Wardlow on there, which I don't know about that one. I know Wardlow's injured. That's the last word we've had on him, that he's still injured.
Again?
Yeah, apparently. Um, but not that he's asked for his release. I haven't seen any other stories about that. But if that's true, then that's another one. Like if you're not going to use him, then let him go somewhere. And here's one of the things. I am not I know it seems week after week now because it seems like we always have much more to talk about with WWE than we do AEW as far as good stuff that's happening. But I don't want to tout them so hard. They're doing what we're saying that they need to do with like Ricky Starks. Okay, you have nothing for him. Partner with another company and let him go over there, get the reps, get the time in the ring, keep him fresh, keep him ready, and then when you need him, you can pull him up. So, worked with New Japan, which I know is going to be harder now because I don't know if you heard about that, but so New
I
Japan,
did,
All
and
Japan, all those, they conglomerated now. So now it's I don't want to say All Japan because that was one of them, but like it's a Japan
yeah,
conglomeration of a company now.
yeah. I'm kind of with you. If you're not gonna do anything with him, I let him do it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and or just let him go.
Yeah.
I get the whole competition thing. I get it. Release him. He's got a 90-day no compete. If you've built those into the contract, which I would hope you have, but you wanted to be different, but you're being exactly the same.
Right. You're doing exactly what people have like messed with you about.
I just came across a funny thing on Twitter.
So did I.
Osprey tweeted this.
Thanks for being my hype person. Just
I got you. I got you.
go ahead.
Osprey posted this a couple hours ago. Says, "Hey, I am Jericho / Jericho Cruise. I think there's been a mistake. It says here, myself and Al are hosting / taking part in a drunken spelling bee. I would like to say what a bad idea it is for me to be anywhere near that, seeing as I can't spell or read. I can drink though."
Osprey's quickly becoming one of those national treasures as well. Doing very well at what he's doing. He was one of those that I was afraid he wasn't going to translate very well coming to the America crowd, and he has done wonders.
I will say this. Um, sorry. He's translated with the AEW crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he would have translated with the WWE crowd.
I think he would have done as well as Nakamura did. I think he would have been a big deal to start,
For a minute.
and then eventually they wouldn't have known what to do with him.
I agree.
Because he's just phenomenal wrestler. Like that's the limit of kind of what he is. And as much as they've gotten away from like the garbage men, the hockey players and all those type of gimmicks, they are still larger than life gimmicks. It's still, when you look at them, there's not someone who's just like, I'm pro wrestler. I'm great pro wrestler. That's my gimmick.
You really went with Duke the Dumpster Drozy and the Goon?
Yes, I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I could have went with Hog and Pig, but
Look, we can complain about it all we want to. Those were creative ass names.
they were. And well, and here's the thing: when was the first time you noticed that it spelled Hog?
Took forever.
Because it took me so long to realize, oh, it spells Hog. I got it. That's why you call him Henry O'Godwin. Anyway, yeah.
I love that we all three have a podcast going, but we're all three out here retweeting each other's shit.
Yeah. That's because we are creative with each other. You said all three. Who's the third?
John's got that thing going with Layla.
Oh yeah, they're doing.
Mike has his show going and us.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll catch the leftovers maybe. I don't know. This is why we need to have a conversation, but that's a whole other thing.
Yes.
Back to Ricky Starks though. It is noted though that he recently was there at AEW Full Gear, and everybody there warmly welcomed him backstage. So there seems to be no ill will, at least on AEW side, with him coming in, but
If I'm Ricky, I'm salty as shit.
if I'm Ricky, I'm not showing up. If I'm not booked, why am I there?
Or, ooh, Frankie Kazarian re-signed with TNA.
Yes, he did.
Um,
Which means we're going to see
or
Kaz in NXT at some point.
I'm showing up with ideas
Yeah.
for other people that aren't being used, and for myself, like me and people that are not being
Yeah.
used.
Give it the CM Punk treatment of like give him like 6 weeks of TV that could be done.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm with you. I understand that.
Get what value you can out of him, because I hate to break it to him, Ricky Starks is going to bring you ratings.
He is. Here's the thing: when his contract is up and he shows up in NXT, because we know that's what's going to happen eventually if they keep doing this, Ricky's going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't think he's full-fledged. I don't think he is completely filled out in his character yet. He's still kind of a mix of Rock and like he's still kind of a mix of all these old things, but so's LA Knight. And he showed up and people love it. So
it's one of those things. Chance, if you don't go away, bro.
He wants that steak.
I know he does. Plus, I've given him a couple pieces, so. But honestly, Ego shouldn't have gone there. Ricky shouldn't go there. And Jordan shouldn't go there.
Jordan, I agree. I think Jordan, she's done everything she can in NXT other than get the title. I mean, if you want to go there just to have her win the title, then okay. But I don't think she needs that.
To me, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You're hurting Julia if you do that.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, you got to get it off Julia first. I don't think you put Jordan versus Julia. You have Roxanne get it back somehow, some sneaky win or whatever, and Jordan happens to step in at the right time. Or you make it a 3-way. But no, I think Jordan's done all she could for NXT. I think she doesn't need to go up. To me, I do think Ricky would need NXT, but I think that's just because I think they need to flesh out who he is. Because right now he's to me he's one note as far as his character. In the ring, he's great, and he's got automatic charisma. Like he just steps in front of a camera and you want to watch him. But I need him to build a character out of what he's got. And so I think Sean and them could help him do that in NXT before he comes up. Because then I think you end up in a Carmelo Hayes situation. If he comes up and he's a big deal, but then...
What are you going to do with him?
Yeah. WWE tryouts are planned for Europe. So they're going to try to do a Europe talent search, part of the ID program in March of this year. So according to Fightful, the tryout will take place in London. While no European talent has been approached with WWE ID deals previously, several notable names in the UK indie scene have garnered WWE's attention. Past invites to the WWE events include Riho, Tate Mayfair's, Damian Corvin, talent from WXW, OTT, and Progress are all expected to participate. So, Zarya, she was in last year's Australia tryout. That's where they decided they wanted her. So this could bring some people up that, is killing it in the indies.
Okay.
I would ask
Speaking
you
of the indies, do you think Cardona comes back at the Rumble?
Oh, I want to say yes. I want to say he does. But I don't know. I look at Cardona a lot like I look at Corbin. So Corbin did an interview, and he mentioned that after he got let go, Randy Orton called him up and was like, "Man, I'm sorry that happened. Just so you know, it's because like one person doesn't get you. One person doesn't like you."
Yeah.
And so I think Cardona's in the same place. I don't think, because I mean, let's be clear, that one person probably trip. Because if the man who has the pencil doesn't understand you and doesn't get your gimmick and doesn't like putting you on the paper, but
When he got released the first time, when he got released, yes, they didn't understand what to do with Zack Ryder
Mhm.
because he had gotten himself over, and that pissed him off too.
Yeah.
But signing Cardona, the king of the indies, and making him even bigger,
Yeah.
always ready. You don't need to do anything with him. He's Matt Cardona.
Yeah. I agree. 100% agree that it should be a no-brainer. They absolutely should be able to just swing him in there and everything's fine, and they work him for what he's worth. However, if Tripp doesn't get it, I don't see them bringing him in,
I,
because that's, to me, that's exactly what happened with Corbin. They never understood what to do with Corbin.
Speaking of, did you see his new name?
Yeah,
I like it.
it's good. Did you see his explanation for it?
No,
So it's Baron. What was the last? Baron, or no, it's Bishop. Bishop something.
Bishop something.
So first of all, Bishop is higher level than a Baron. So he's like, we're progressing.
Okay.
And the last thing was just because the last name was because he liked whatever it referred to, but I forget what it referred to now.
But the nickname is the Nomad, and I'm a
Yeah.
big fan.
Yeah. Well, and he basically said, he's like, my idea is I'm not going to get signed. I'm not going to try to sign anywhere. I'm going to go through all these indies as a nomad, kind of
Yeah.
leading back to the Lone Wolf. It was Dyer, Baron. It was Bishop Dyer.
Yeah.
Because it was the Dyer Wolf.
DYRE, I think.
Yeah. Because apparently he, at one point, he talked about being the Dire Wolf instead of the Lone Wolf. But anyway, he yeah, I mean, I think he's going to kill it out there. Speaking of who else is killing it, Corey Graves showed back up like nothing happened.
And said, "This is where there's nowhere else I want to be." The fuck, there's not, Corey.
So
To be fair, McAfee missed Raw because of the national title game.
yeah. But Corey Graves has definitely had an eventful couple of weeks. He showed up in NXT at New Year's Evil, seemed very unhappy to be there, and then wasn't.
He did too.
Yeah, wasn't there the next week. But he did show up this week. He did seem a lot happier. He put on a face. I don't know if it was a brave face or what. I don't know if they had a conversation and that smoothed things over. We don't know what happened, but he did show back up.
Yeah.
And
did his job like Corey Graves does, and it was great.
Yeah. Graves is listed to stay on commentary at NXT for the time being. A little bit of fantasy booking you and I talked a little bit about. He talked a lot about TNA. Like, he was the main one kind of bringing up TNA all the time. And so I would like to see him either A, show up on TNA and say that's where he'd rather be, or B, I would like him to lead the insurrection from TNA into NXT.
Do you know who the lead announcer for TNA is?
Currently, no.
Tom Hannafin is his real last name.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah, that's Mike Tom Mike.
No.
Is it?
It's Phillips.
Oh, that's right. Todd Phillips.
And every time Corey, when him would be on commentary, Corey'd hit him with a "Shut up, Phillips."
We could get a shut up Hennigan.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
That'd be cool. Oh man, I forgot that I had the thing. I was going to throw that up there for the news, and I forgot. So there's the news. Do.
Bad Bunny was on Hot Ones.
Oh, fun.
And the dude that does it said, "In my opinion, you're the best celebrity to ever wrestle." And Bad Bunny said, "That's your opinion?" That was like, "Yeah." And Bad Bunny said, "No, it's a fact."
Wow.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's not.
It depends on. I hate saying it. It depends on what you consider a celebrity. Because Logan Paul, as much as I hate that bastard.
Okay, Logan Paul has a ton of like sports and athletic background.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny doesn't.
Agreed. So if we're talking
So
about
to me,
literally,
it's not
yeah.
two different things.
I will say to me though, he is as good and possibly
What?
better.
What did you say?
I said, and the people actually like Bad Bunny.
That's fair.
That too. Stephen Amell to me is a very close,
Was hella talented.
very close in that.
His match with CD at the first pay-per-view was incredible.
Right. So I would say that's a hard sell to me to say.
But no,
But,
after what Bad Bunny did, first of all, as Damien's partner,
and then
as his opponent, no,
Yeah.
it's to me, it's not a comparison.
I gotcha. Absolutely.
Do I think Stephen Amell could get in there and put on some hella shows? Absolutely. But he had already started training with Cody before he did his first match. He had done some matches on the indies with the Bucks and Cody.
Yeah.
So for the number of matches he had already had, yeah, he looked good. And, like Daniels talked about his first match, he's like, it doesn't matter what you think. When you get in the ring, slow down.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. First, we would be remiss without giving a shout out to Christopher Daniels. Amazing career.
Yeah. Which we're actually going to talk about him a little bit here in a bit.
Okay.
But
the number of things that he has had his hand in is immeasurable.
Yeah. I mean, he has worked for every major promotion that's currently out there. And a lot of the past ones too. He was a staple in the X division when the X division was cool. The three-way between him, Joe, and AJ. Absolute
the couple
classic.
of them they had, which were just incredible matches.
Yeah. So I mean, he did tweet out. He said that he's sad to see it be over, but he's glad to see it done. Which is, I think, the best way you can say that. He doesn't want it to be over, but now that weight can be off his shoulder of like, I don't have to worry about a last match now.
Tracy Brooks tweeted about it. Kazarian tweeted about it, which they're married and obviously very close friends.
Right.
His family had like a sign when he got home. Like it.
Yeah. It's a big
sucks
deal
for all of us, but props on an absolutely incredible career.
Well, and we say last match, we say retirement in wrestling. There's always the sprinkle of like a one-off match somewhere down the line if it needs to happen. But as far as his actual constant in-ring career being over, it's a huge bucket of win. Like there's nothing more you can say about that because he was so good in the ring. There was so much potential of things that could have happened too that unfortunately didn't get to happen. And then let's not forget Curry, man, one of the greatest luchadors ever. Like he's
hot.
He's
spicy.
He could be serious. He could be funny. He was amazing in the ring.
That gimmick.
And he gave us one of the best finishers that we currently have today and the prettiest moonsault ever by having the best moonsault ever.
The BME.
Yeah. So I mean, absolutely wonderful career. We are going to talk about him here in a little bit because here we are. We're going to talk about 3 count. Now, this is still kind of in its infancy. We're still talking about it a little bit. Since our 2 shows, we decided we're going to do 2 separate 3 counts. Tori gave me her 3 things that she wanted to talk about AEW Dynamite. And then I gave my 3 things that I want to talk about for NXT. Let's go ahead and start with yours. So you said you wanted to talk about the Ospreay Omega situation.
Okay.
They find common enemies for Grand Slam.
Have you seen Dynamite?
Yes.
Okay. We all knew they were going to get there. It was just a matter of when and how.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody hates Don Callis, so that completely makes sense. The brawl was crazy, and it was fantastic. The synchronized moonsaults, like, what?
Yeah.
Kenny was up on that lighting rig. Osprey's up on a wall, like, by some seats. And then they both hit that, and Osprey tweeted out that that was the highest thing he's ever jumped from. Well, then after they finished all of this and said this match was happening, and Don's like, "No, we're not doing it." Kenny's an EVP, bitch. You don't get to say no. You don't have a choice.
This shit's signed. We're
Yeah.
done.
And so Kenny does his normal outro, and then it's like, "Now hit my music so I can get down because I'm scared of heights."
The look that Osprey gave him was just
Osprey
priceless.
was like, "What?"
Like, you just dove off this shit not 5 seconds ago.
So it was a really good segment. We're gonna get Kenny and Osprey as a team, which is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And they're wrestling Fletcher and Takeshita, which are both just absolute studs in the ring. Like, this match, Grand Slam is not a pay-per-view. It's a
Right.
Dynamite.
Right.
You're
Well-
going to put this on free television?
I mean, first, to talk about the chemistry that you're going to see there, because Osprey and Fletcher already have amazing chemistry. You got Omega and Takeshita, which had some great damn matches before Omega left. So you already got those two things. We've seen a little bit of Osprey and Takeshita already, and they have amazing chemistry. You can't tell me that Fletcher and Omega aren't going to have.
Osprey and Fletcher are damn near brothers.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be just absolutely amazing.
Impact tonight, Mance Warner and Steph DeLander came back.
Nice.
It's good to see her back after her
Glad
surgery.
to see Steph there. Just some of the highlights from that whole segment, though. First of all, the Kenny chants were loud as hell.
Yeah, they were.
The crowd is so glad to have him back. And we got back the music. We got the overabundance of fireworks. Because a lot of the complaints last time he showed up was that it was like that slow orchestral, like it wasn't his music. And so we got his music back.
I know this is off subject. Correct me if I'm wrong. Weren't we under the impression Josh Alexander was done with TNA?
Well, remember, he went to the back and Santino told him, "Hey, you still have some dates you have to show up for."
That's right.
I think
Because him and Eric Young have a match.
Yeah.
With it's a tag match against somebody. I was just like, wait, what?
So number 2 that you want to talk about from Dynamite is you want to talk about Julia Hart, the house. Just to kind of preface that before you get into it. So this started with Julia versus Jamie Hayter in a match. Girls did great. The ring rust is kind of dusted off a little bit. You and I both were very critical when they first started coming back because it was a lot of ring rust. They were kind of sloppy.
Yeah.
They really cleaned it up in this. Still a little bit to go, but
we can critique their ring rust. We can't do it.
No.
So this is just from observation of many years of watching this to say that it's ring rust, it's timing, it's whatever, because reps matter.
Yeah.
It's no different than any other sport. Reps matter.
Yep. But
Hayter and Julia had a banger match. Julia said, or Hayter said, "We're at 1 each. I respect you. If you want a rubber match, I'm in."
So we're going to do that again at some point. But then we got to see this. Well, hold on. Before we do that, so the debut of a new entrance theme for Julia Hart when she came out.
They changed one word.
Yeah. So now it's "The Heart Always Wins," which is nice. But then we got this wonderful promo of Brody King, Buddy, and Hart emphasizing the future that they have moving forward, who they are now. I'll let you go ahead and take it from there.
So I had seen both Brody and Buddy trademark different phrases, different names, things like that. Um, I think we're all in agreement that Aleister Black is showing up at the Rumble.
Mhm.
Let's just call it what it is. He should definitely not go through NXT. When that music hits at the Rumble, I'm gonna be so excited.
He's either showing up at the Rumble, or there's rumor and conjecture out there because Dominic is giving someone to help
I
Chad,
saw that.
and he said Dark Arts, which is the
Yeah.
name of the gym that Aleister
Yeah,
owns.
I saw that.
So
So
maybe.
I'm hoping it's the Rumble because I'm gonna pop so hard for that fucking music.
I
Because that
do
music is
too.
banger.
With the comedy stuff that Chad's doing, just to kind of go into that for a second, I'm hoping it's like some luchador from like WCW days. Like we're gonna get La Parka, La Parka or something. Like
the chairman.
I would much rather do that than have Aleister be tied into that.
Dean Malenko in a mask.
That'd be awesome too. He comes
So
out in the who he dressed as for the Rumble thing that they had in WCW.
So they had this promo, and it was done really well. It was the three of them talking about basically no more hiding, just violence. And I think they're calling them the Hounds of Hell, which is, first of all, fucking amazing. And I am so excited for this. Like, I enjoyed the little things that Copeland did with them.
Yeah.
With both, talking about both of them. I would have liked to have seen some interaction with him and Julia, even just an in passing.
Yeah.
But the way that they're setting this up, these two are going to be an absolute force.
They are.
And we just put the tag titles on someone new. Give me all of that match.
Which, hold on, I'm going to give like 2.5 here. To me, that was dumb.
I disagree.
It was dumb to do it on a random Dynamite. That should have held for a pay-per-view or a bigger event. We did this
I'll give you that.
This whole story of Private Party finally getting that win over the Young Bucks.
Yeah, and then you throw them away to the
just like
hurt. Well, and the other side of this is Bobby's never been a tag champ. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
Well,
because everything Bobby Lashley has done, he's never been a tag champ.
No, because he's never been saddled into a tag match.
Right, in a tag team.
Yeah, it's either been a group or it's been him by himself. But that's just me. I would have held that off. To me, it kind of desecrates that story that we were telling about Private Party. So now, what do you do with them? But anyway, so to your point, though, that's going to be an amazing match if we get House of Heart or Cerberus or whatever they're going to call themselves.
I think they're going to be the Hounds of Hell,
which is great too.
Which is fucking great.
Which I kind of want. I kind of wonder if that's what he was doing. I wonder if he was throwing stuff to see what he could get back, because Cerberus would be awesome because it's three-headed hound. Hounds of Hell would be great. Hellhounds would be great. Like, no matter what you'd use that for, it'd be amazing as a name. But they're gonna be amazing, and we take away some of the spookiness, we take away some of that stuff. The vignettes make perfect sense now of Hart's finding herself now, so she's no longer with
22.
That. Oh yeah, so young, so much talent 23. Already.
Yeah,
she's gonna be so big.
Yeah. Jeff DeLander brought back the Digital Media Championship.
Good.
Isn't that what's his face?
Yeah, that's what PCO smashed up.
Nice.
Which there was a small update about that from Fightful. Apparently TNA was livid about that whole situation.
I'm sure. They should have been.
Yeah. It was just ridiculous. All right. Third thing you want to talk about with AEW starts with Hangman versus a local competitor, which...
No. I thought it started with Double J. It started with the interview. Double J's It started with Double
Was
J
the interview
and
first? Okay.
yes.
I'll go
So
ahead
it
and talk
started
about
with
that
Double
then.
J in the ring talking about how he basically wants a shot at Mox,
Mhm.
which no one is going to buy that, but whatever. The night a WWE title was defended on a TNA broadcast for the first time ever. Very cool.
That's nice.
Talking about how he's been in the business and this is his last year and so on. And he wants Mox. Well, Claudio comes out and Double J is like, I'll tell you what, you and me next week, and if I beat you, I get Mox. Okay. Sir, what? Claudio been killing people.
Yeah.
Are you just trying to have him put you out the pasture now? Is he gonna old yeller you in this building? Like, what are we? Why?
Ouch. No, I'm with you. Go ahead.
So then Max comes out, and they have a back and forth again. You know what? They may have separated the two segments because Max came out, but I don't remember if Double J was still in the ring. And basically said he just wanted Jarrett to win the title because he'd be an easy win for Max, which, okay. As Max is leaving the ring, Hangman's music hits. And Hangman comes out, wrestles some scrub, hits him with a lariat and damn near kills the kid. And then he beats him with angel wings,
Mhm.
which is Daniel's finisher.
Yeah, which is what he finished Daniels with too.
Yeah, I knew that. If we're giving him that as a new finisher, I'm
Yeah.
here for it because I hate the buckshot.
Yeah.
The buckshot is terrible. The setup is awful. It takes too long. It's not a good finish. It's a great move in the match.
Yeah.
It's not a good finish. As he's leaving, no, he's still in the ring after the match. Daniel CD's music hits and he comes out. He's in a neck brace.
Yeah.
Well, Hangman comes running up the ramp like he's going to do something. Daniel's like, hold up. Let's just have a conversation here. And says, basically, I'll never wrestle again because of you. And the whole back and forth, you can see like that statement affected Hangman. This dude is so good at conveying reactions without a lot of facial change. So I'm really curious to see where this goes. First of all, why did he come out while Max was either still in the ring or on his way out? Like, you interrupted MJF. So are we slowly turning Hangman face again?
So I don't know if we're necessarily turning him face. I'll tell you what I saw in that facial shot. It was a little bit of old Hangman sneaking back through. Because Hangman has just been a pissed off cowboy.
That's fair.
For months. And that's all it's been. He comes out, he whoops people's ass, he goes home. That's it. No friends, no nothing. Just that's it.
Yeah.
His face softened a little bit. Hearing Daniel say, I'm never going to wrestle because of you. But then in a genuine way, which is something I love about Daniels and the way he presented that, in a genuine way looked at him and said, and as long as that makes you happy. Like, he just wants to make sure that Hangman is now okay. Okay, you beat me. I can't wrestle again. You did what you wanted to do. I hope you're happy. Throw a little geek in it. Very Wicked-esque. I hope you're happy now.
Well done.
Hey, cheap pop for the Wicked crew.
On a side note, Sting has announced this will be his last year doing the convention tours. That's it. He's hanging it all up, taking the face paint off. He's done.
He deserves it. He's been doing this
Ariana
shit a
Grace.
long time.
Ariana Grace was on commentary for the tag match.
Great. Just great. But yeah, Hangman seemed very visibly shaken by that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. The MJF of it all, and him and Jeff, giving Jeff his last run. The only thing I don't like about it is that the Jeff Jarrett story seems to be a copy and paste of the John Cena story, and I don't like that. They copy WWE's homework on that one, and I don't know if I'm okay with that.
The other side of this, though, is they've been doing a lot with Double J since the Owen Hart.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes and no. I think the difference is John is more likely to actually win a title than Double J is.
Very valid.
I don't say that to be shady Double J. No. I just...
I do want to say, so there is one thing I was surprised you didn't want to talk about, but it was just such a small segment that I understand why not.
Harley Cameron and Mercedes.
Harley Cameron.
I knew exactly.
Doing her best. So John, friend of the show over at Chairshot Sports, he said this, and it stuck in my brain, and I hadn't watched it yet, so I went and watched it after that. After I listened to him, and he said this. He said, doing her best Kurt Angle impression, and all I could see was him with the Jimmy Crack corn.
The little hat.
It's so just wonderful. First of all, the song was a banger. Like, yes. It was good.
So, did you see her interview, the Tony Storm interview she interrupted either at Dynamite last week or at Collision?
Yeah, and they started
where they went full Australian.
Full Aussie, yeah.
That shit was so good.
Yeah.
I need Harley Cameron to have a match at Grand Slam.
I
just need more Harley Cameron on my TV because she's amazing.
I think it's going to be against Monet. I think even though Monet said no, I think like we're going to get there.
I hope so.
I do like
she's
the
not
response.
Going to win.
Yeah,
she should. Let's be clear. If you want to see everybody lose their mind, Harley Cameron beats Mercedes for the TBS title or the Rev Pro title, or
and there's such an easy way to get there, but again, it goes back to what we talked about at the beginning of the podcast here of like there's people that they're not using, and I don't know why they're not using it, but if they use them, it would make things even better. All you have to do is have Camille come out there and cost her the match, and then we get the Camille Monet thing. Just give us that, because you could have her cost the match, Harley Cameron gets the title, everybody loses their shit because, and I'm going to use this as an example, because Santino won the Elimination Chamber. Like, if he would have won that night and had the WWE title, the roof would have blown off the place. You could have him hand that title back on Monday.
Hey, we got a new follower.
Hey, look at that. Thank you. Tola 33, I think is what it said. Welcome.
Is that on YouTube or?
It was purple, so I assume Twitch, because I think that's how I set that up. Is Twitch was purple, but I don't know for sure.
The high quality of this show, I tell you. I do want to point out that,
but I'm also Alzheimer's, so it's okay.
I do want to point out the audacity of John Cruz to make it on the ROH 100 show, but Snake Man didn't. Preposterous, ridiculous. Even Serpentico tweeted this.
I was going to say it's good that he wasn't on there. I'd rather have Cruz on the show. Now, if we could get what I'd love to see Cruz versus Serpentico versus Ricochet versus Prince Puma. I think they need to book that match
with Killshot and Swerve in the match too. Both of them.
Yes, very much so. Anyway, but yeah, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about that little segment with her and Monet.
She's so good.
Harley Cameron is, yes. I want to be clear of who we're talking about in that particular situation, because
credit to Mercedes for not breaking character either.
Yes, that was very good. I need someone to write her promos. She's great in the ring when she has the right person with the right chemistry, but that woman cannot promo by herself.
That is one of those things that she thrived because of the machine
Mm-hmm.
in that one way. She thrived because of herself in other ways. But in that one way, she thrived because of the machine, and it's noticeable.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. As a businesswoman and an in-ring talent, no one I think is better because she has negotiated her way into having 4 titles from 4 different promotions at the same time while contracted with AEW.
In 4 different countries.
Yes. She has worked a way to make herself the centerpiece of the women's division in AEW. And her matches that she has, by and large, because there have been a few that we have said were stinkers, and that's just because there was no chemistry.
Right.
And that could be just because of hard feelings too, because one of those was against Britt, and at that time there was a
That one
lot going on.
Really bad.
But she is a great talent. She just needs that person to just like point her in the right direction sometimes, because she'll go off on a tangent and we'll get a 15-minute Triple H-esque segment.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have the ability to on the fly talk like he does.
Yeah.
So she needs that structure of what to say.
Agree.
All right, so that was your 3 count of Dynamite. I think those are very 3 good points, and we sprinkled a little bit in there of other things that were kind of fun. The only thing else I have to say about Dynamite is, Jericho, please go home. I'm done. I'm done.
I think the Bill turn is coming.
I hope so. Give me something to care about in that. I'll say this about that. It goes back to the booking questioning, because a few weeks ago, we had Samoa Joe come back, and he gets himself in the middle of this mock stuff. We don't see him at all this week. And then on top of that, Samoa Joe.
Oh, yeah.
We don't see him at all this week. And then on top of that, you have the dude holding the ROH title that took him out. And not once has Joe said anything about that. Like, he's the one that took you out. Go take your shit back. But that's just me. My 3 count was for NXT. The first one I want to talk about is the Lexis King and Charlie Dempsey match. I do want to say, like, we've said a couple of negative things about AEW. I'm just going to say it was hard for me to come up with a 3 count for NXT, because it was a very subpar show to me.
The show was not anything special.
It had things that didn't make any sense, and it may make sense eventually. It may. I always try to give the benefit of the doubt on the storytelling over in WWE side, because we've wanted to have the Bloodline story done 3 years in a row, and then they do something, and then we're right back in it, and we love it again. So I'm going to give some hope to it. But we had Lexis King versus Charlie Dempsey. This is their 3rd match now for the Heritage Cup. Charlie Dempsey's kind of last chance to get it back, because the last 2 wins, there was some kind of questionable ways that Lexis King won. The first one, we had the brass knuck situation where, Charlie Dempsey was caught with the brass knucks even though he hadn't used them. He gets disqualified. We had the accidental nut shot in the second match. And then this one, we find that the knucks are in the bucket. There's no ring person for Lexis. It's just him. He's got the bucket. The first break in the 3 rounds, he goes over to the bucket. Camera pans and sees that we have the knucks in there. He questions using it after the second fall. He ends up not using them, but the ref kind of gets caught in the corner, and we get an obvious low blow to Charlie Dempsey, and then Lexis King wins the match. I don't understand this. We have spent all this time trying to make Lexis the good guy in this conversation, just for at last minute to become the heel. I don't understand the booking. Maybe it'll make sense when he explains himself, but is what it is there.
It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. He's gone on and on. I'm not my dad. I don't want to do these things, and then not shot.
Yeah.
Wasn't an accident. It wasn't. Oh, I didn't mean to. It was a blatant mule kick.
Yeah. So kind of strange for that to happen. Because the whole thing was like he wrestled the match really well. Like it was
A
a
great match.
good match together. Not as good as Dempsey versus Chad Gable, which if you haven't seen that on Speed, go watch that. That was Jesus, 3 minutes of a masterpiece. But we'll have to see where that goes. This supposedly means that Dempsey doesn't have another shot at it. Maybe another one of the crew gets a shot at it now. Maybe we try to get it back in the catch crew. But
If you were going to break up the no quarter catch crew, this would be where you would have Tavion was his name,
Yeah.
I think.
yeah, Tavion.
The one that went to Japan.
Yeah.
Have him win it. And then pose the question of why do we need him?
Yeah. That's not bad. Or even do it before they get the shot at it.
Yeah.
Hey, you lost to him. Obviously, we can't follow you in this. So that's my number one. My number two, Tony D versus Ridge Holland, which was a good match. It's hard giving Ridge Holland, props with what happened. It's hard to let that go.
Go ahead.
But so it's a North American Championship match. It was an opening of the night. The thing that I don't get about this is there was a lot of like chicanery going on outside, but it ended with Izzy Dane giving a big boot to Ridge, which then helped Tony D get the win. This thing with him and Izzy kind of come out of nowhere to me, and maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm missing something. But it's kind of another one of those of like, all right, why are we doing this?
So I'm with you. I can't. I struggle to give Ridge a lot of credit because now I will say with what they're doing with Kofi and Woods, okay, maybe it worked to our favor at this point. But I just don't care about Ridge. There's nothing about him that makes you go, "Oh, Ridge Holland is on my." You haven't sold a fucking ticket. Like,
I don't disagree.
why is Izzy Dane getting involved in this? Like, the fuck?
That's the part I don't get. Like, we just had a story, and it was still going on as far as like last week. Of someone's trying to get, what's the girl's name? The girl that's currently in the family. I always forget.
Adriana Rizzo.
Yeah. That they're trying to get Rizzo to turn their back on the family, and all of a sudden we have someone that is trying to get in the family. Like,
I don't know. It's weird.
did we just about turn all of a sudden and went, nope, never mind. We're not going to get Rizzo out of there. We're going to bring someone else in.
Are we going to have Tony and Izzy be a thing and then he leaves the family?
And so that kind of seems like it, because what we find out later is that, well, let me finish that real quick. So Tony D defeated Ridge because of that kick in the face. Corey Graves hinted at addressing recent rumors during that match, which kind of gives me hope that this whole thing was a work, even though there hasn't been any proof of it otherwise, but he has kind of alluded to that, which is nice. But then later we had Nico Vance and Brooks Jensen versus Stax and Luca. And so in that match, Tony D is nowhere to be found. And so we end up with the family losing. They go back to the back, and this is the main thing I wanted to bring up in the third thing that I'm talking about for my 3 count. They go backstage, and we see Tony D's talking to Izzy. And so he finally, like, Izzy leaves, and then his response to the family when they're like, "Why weren't you out there?" is, I was talking to Izzy, she just wouldn't shut up. So, like, I couldn't get her to stop talking. You know how she is. She talks all the time. So are we going to get a little thing between them where she starts becoming more important than the family? But also, kind of fun enough, Tony D looks at Stax and goes, "Stax, you've been the, like, untapped general of this family. When are you going to step up and not need me?"
This is how they take Tony out of the family.
Yeah.
Whether it's a call up or whatever. So I was curious if there was any news on if Tony was single, married, whatever. I can't find anything one way or the other. Are him and Izzy a couple and that's why we're doing this?
I
I
sure
thought
hope
Izzy
not.
Dan was dating somebody.
I sure hope not if that's the case. I hope we're not just sticking people together because they're a couple. Because that's a horrible idea. Real quick on
Oh no, I'm sorry. Izzy is dating Braun Breaker.
oh, there you go. You mentioned Mance Warner and Stephanie Delaney coming back. For anybody that's a TNA fan, they were the mysterious 23. We've been seeing 23 show up on the Tron for the last couple of months, and
Okay.
they are what 23 was. I'll have to watch later and figure out why it's 23. But Stephanie's jacket has 23 on it.
Okay.
Um,
But he's the new digital media champion, apparently.
well, no, this says Stephanie Delander is.
She said he is,
Oh, okay, so she gave it to him.
apparently.
Okay, well, interesting.
Overall, NXT was not. Now we're getting Grayson Waller and Austin Theory back in NXT. Like,
Well, here's the thing. I like the people coming down, and I was teetering on the Bailey Julia segment as something to talk to, because to me that was the best thing of the night. Is
easily.
Bailey coming down, Julia
Easily.
coming in, saying that she's there because of Bailey. She wanted. The only thing I didn't understand, Julia's older than Bailey, is she?
No.
Is she not?
I'm pretty sure that Julia is super young.
So Bailey's 35.
Julia's 30.
Still, it's only 5 years. She was making this.
She's not even 30. She'll turn 30, 31 this year.
Okay.
In like a month.
The way she was saying it almost made it sound like she was pulling an R-Truth of, like, you were my childhood hero. That was the only thing that kind of caught me off guard about it. But Roxanne and Cora Jade coming down, them laying into Bailey because they used to be, the Bailey fans, and that Bailey's the reason that they got into the business and all that, and then turning the script on her. I will say the NXT fans were ruthless because you could not hear a damn thing that Roxanne was saying.
Dominic Mysterio shit.
Yeah. So
Julia didn't start wrestling until 2017, and look where Bailey was already.
Fair enough.
So
that puts him in a little bit of context for me. I didn't think about when she actually started wrestling. But
yeah, she was in NXT from 2012 to 2015. So yeah, that's
fair enough.
She was NXT Women's Champ till 16.
Yeah.
And then she went to Raw. So yeah, it tracks.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll take my licks on that one. So yeah, it was I don't know, it was an okay show. I just don't feel like it was the best foot forward. In like the closing segment of the night with Oba and Eddie Thorpe, I can't get behind Eddie Thorpe. I don't know why. There's just I can't. I'm not enjoying anything he's doing.
It's basic.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yep.
Because I don't care.
Honker. But anyway, so that closes out the 3 counts. Is there anything else you want to talk about wrestling wise or show wise or?
No, I think we covered most of the things that I wanted to talk about. I saw someone said Raw's numbers were down a little bit. The national championship game was on. I'm not surprised.
Well, that and like it's gonna level out because the first couple of shows
Yeah.
you're getting that new crowd in, trying to see what it's about, and some of those people are gonna roll off. That's gonna happen. Looks like Tessa Blanchard said that she's better than Stone Cold, but we're just gonna roll right past that.
I, no.
No. I do want to ask this question just to the crowd that watches this on VOD. There's a chance that maybe in March I'm going to Vegas. I want someone to tell me a good local Vegas promotion.
There's a chance that I'm going to do what I can to try and go with him to Vegas.
But I'd love to go see a local show while I'm there. We're checking to see if the dates correspond. Apparently, there's going to be you said a Collision.
Collision the 15th.
So if Collision's there while I'm there, obviously I'm going to want to try to do that. But
before we wrap this up, I need you to look at that picture.
I absolutely would love to see a local promotion as well. So the picture she just sent me is CM Punk next to a grave doing the peace thing with
it's
Hulkamania.
The picture from Arrow with Grant Gustin, but they put Hulkamania on the tombstone and it's CM Punk's face.
Yep. I read into a little bit of that today. I thought about putting it in for the news because it was something that it was one of the quickie things that SRS talked about. Apparently, it was not a scripted line, which I'm not surprised at that at all. But also, apparently, there was absolutely no heat backstage by him saying that line.
Cardona showed up at TNA and is wrestling Hendry for the title tonight.
That's how he gets in.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely good with that.
Oh, God. Jesse Ventura is going to be on Saturday night's main event again.
Yeah, from my understanding, that's going to be a normal thing. He's going to be one of the commentary people for it every time they do it. I don't know. You and me have different thoughts on that. I actually enjoyed him being commentary. He's always been a good color guy. As long as he stays abreast of the product, because that's my only worry, is because the reason Jesse's commentary to me was always so fun is because he would make jabs about anybody and everybody. But you have to know the product to be able to do that. So I need you to stay watching the product. That way when you make a jab, it makes sense. Go ahead. Speak your truth, man.
Why him? Why do we keep bringing back old guys? I get it. I understand the legacy to this.
Mm-hmm.
If Punk does not have a match, put that motherfucker on commentary, because that shit will be fire.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Why are we bringing back people we don't need to? Now, after Hogan got booed out of the building, Jesse may be pretty entertaining on commentary. But in general,
oh my God. Hold on. Because they talked about rolling his dusty ass back out there on Saturday night's main event, test the waters outside of California. If Jesse is on commentary,
he's going to fuck him up.
Hogan gets booed out the building, Jesse's going to fuck him up. I'm kind of here for it now. All right, go ahead. Bring Hogan back out. he gets all that back out. One thing I will say about him, Kevin,
Dragon,
huh?
Dragon Lee's wife had their baby.
Oh, congratulations.
That's him. Yeah.
Kevin Nash on his podcast talked about Hogan coming out. And of course he's still friends with Hogan, like that they still go back and all that stuff. The one thing I will say also about like dragging these people back out there, I'm sure he did it for the paycheck. I'm sure he did it for the rush to come back out there again. But apparently he's all fucked up right now.
Who is?
Hogan. And so Nash was saying it's like, it was the reason he didn't go to the ring is because he was in such bad shape that he just kind of hobbled out to where he could and then came back. The booing aside, the fact that he's a horrible human being aside, if they're limping to go out in front of the screen,
why are they out there?
Yeah, don't.
So remember that comment from JBL the other night?
Which
he
one?
Just showed up and took Cardona out.
Okay.
If JBL is going to go one more, Cardona is the perfect opponent.
That would be good.
Oh, he's staring down Joe Hendry.
That'd be good too.
Yeah, I would.
He's definitely showing up, right? He's popping up in the ring.
Who? Joe Hendry?
Yeah.
Yes.
Does Spear show up?
Not as number 10. I think he's doing everything he can
to get away from that.
To get away from that character, which I get it. But no, they're not going to roll him out there at 10. They should, because it'd be amazing, but they're not going to.
I agree. Big Mike replied to that Zarya tweet that you talked about earlier. Said this is just the calm before the storm.
That's nice.
Good call. Good call. I'm good with Cardona versus Hendry for the title though.
That happened tonight, and then JBL got involved.
Yeah. But I hope one of them signs him. TNA or WWE, I don't care which. I hope one of them signs him. He didn't say the words, but that interview he did with Chris, like he sounds a little dejected because he's done so much to recreate himself, and nobody's offered. Hey, Riff 303, new follower. Thank you very much.
Mustafa Ali is back in TNA as well.
Oh, I'm good with that too. Mustafa is so talented. Definitely deserves to have a home. But yeah, Cardona needs something. He needs someone to hire him. Because him being on the indies, like the progress is kind of slowed. Because what else can you do on the indies?
Yeah.
So I hope TNA signs him up. And because of that, we'll see him in WWE because of that partnership. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I hope so.
He does want to end it, like the interview he did. Just kind of a couple other notes on that. He mentioned, he was like, would I absolutely love to be in the same company as my wife? Would I absolutely love to work Fridays with my wife? Absolutely. Like
if he comes
why
back,
would you not?
Have to put him on SmackDown.
Yeah. I think you put him on SmackDown and build him up to be an even bigger star. You could put him on Raw. And he could be one of the main stars there. What?
Somebody's posting stuff from like a WWE's game, and it's Sin Cara coming down to jump off the little trampoline to get in the ring, and the trampoline broke.
Mhm.
and he slammed into the side of the ring. What the fuck?
That was actually one of the entrances for create entrance.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Whew.
In fact, actually, I think that's been there since the Sin Cara entrance was added. And from what I remember, it was a rib because he always botched everything. So they're like, we're gonna put a botched entrance in here. Why not?
Oh, I forgot to mention from the Osprey Omega thing.
Mhm.
Kenny comes out. Osprey says, "Glad you're not dead." Kenny replies with, "It took diverticulitis to almost kill me for people to even know you existed. Now that I'm back, Will, congratulations on being number 2.
Mm-hmm.
God damn.
Yeah, he was ruthless, absolutely ruthless. All right, well, we'll go ahead and close this out. We're at 9:14 Central Standard Time. We've been on this for about an hour and 15 minutes or so. We're out of things to talk about today, but we will be back next week on Tuesday to talk about more.
No, we're good. I'm just arguing with the mascot.
Oh, is the gremlin back there being a gremlin?
Yeah.
But before we sign off, though, up next, compelling legal drama from the U.S. series. Mike helps Rachel to prepare to take the LSAT, while he and Harvey defend a woman accused of insider trading. Next on Suits.
I tried to ignore it.
Don't ignore it. That's the fun of it. If you
I
start
love
ignoring
that
it, I'm going to stop doing it.
I love that Red Man has started commenting on these different slaps from like Bianca and Trick.
That's another hard one not to.
He pimp slapped the shit out of Wesley.
Well, and here's the thing. The internet has failed me because I expected one of two things to happen here. Either Grand Theft Auto wasted, or that slap with "Oh my God."
No, they did it with a Red Man song called "Slap the Shit Out You."
Well, that
They did the
worked.
same thing with Bianca and Liv when she smacked the shit out of Liv Morgan too.
Just saying. Yeah, but no, he slapped the soul out that man's body. When you get slapped and your body goes 3 feet behind you, like that's insane.
Fightful reported that Ricky Stark asked for his release and it was denied. Public Enemy Podcast posted a video of villains jumping Spider-Man, and it says Ricky Starks, Ray Phoenix, and Miro jumping Jack Perry backstage
I've seen that.
so they can get released. That's amazing. I'm glad that nobody does that.
Yeah, it's still funny.
Anthony Bowens is going to be a star by himself. He's going to be a star. Did you see his trademark?
I'm
The
sorry.
Pride of Wrestling?
Yes,
That's amazing.
I did. That was another one that I thought about putting on, but just came across a picture of Zelina Vega sharing a photo of Melina Perez in ring training.
I saw that.
If I can get Melina in the ring again, I'm down.
I saw the picture.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be kind. I saw the picture.
Trying to be kind? What do you mean trying to be kind?
I saw the
You trying to be appropriate?
Yes, let's go with that too.
Okay. Alistair being there too is kind of cool. Ouch. WO comments on AEW programming running opposite WWE Saturday Night's main event. I'd move it. This isn't WCW. Ouch, sir. That's just painful.
I don't know who booked. All in Texas was set a year ago, or like a year out. You just started doing these? I don't know.
If it was like obviously they're not doing rampages anymore, but like just to use that as the measuring stick there. If this was
Right.
Rampage, absolutely. Move it, cancel it, delay it, something. All In, they have a chance.
Yeah.
They could outdo Saturday Night's main event with an All In. Because the thing that you cannot deny is that their pay-per-view numbers are always astronomical.
Crazy.
People love the pay-per-view.
And their pay-per-views are amazing. It's because the pay-per-views are amazing.
Yeah.
Because you know you're going to get some crazy shit, too.
Yeah. Because
Like
once we
murder.
get there, it's like that's where they put all their effort in, is on that show.
Yeah.
But can't wait for that. But yeah, so we will be back on Tuesday with some more talk about Monday Night Raw, some more news, some more 3 count. I thought you had something to say. I didn't know you were...
No.
All right. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff to our socials down there. Hit the bell. It's free, and then you will know when we're going live, and then you can be here live with us and have fun with us. We want you to have fun with us. Come play with us. No. I'm a man, and I love to play with...
I'm like that Homer Simpson meme.
all I can think is Kurt Angle. You're a little boy, and I'm a man. I love to play with little boys. What? I tried to add a soundboard because with the new computer I got, it gave me a free entry with the soundboard stuff, and all of them are just inappropriate stuff. It's Brock Lesnar talking about coming on people. It's like, good lord, there was no wrestling. Like, the only wrestling thing that was clean was there was a bell. That was it, like a ring bell. Everything else was some bad thing that I would not put on here. Because while we're not a kid-friendly show, I also don't feel like getting
There's
canceled
still certain things.
Yeah. But all right. Well, with that being said, remember that wrestling is for everyone, and help us come together to make this community a great one. For me, Michael, my best friend Tori, we will catch you on the next one. Bye.